What's poppin', everybody? Tara Lynch here with the next big thing, the video cast sharing all things infotainment. Now, we've talked about launching a brand and we've talked about covering sports during COVID-19, but what if you combine them? Launching a brand, covering sports, and then the COVID-19 pandemic hitting? Well, meet Enterprise Sports, a podcast and social media brand. They join me today, plus we go over this week's news bites and top trends. Let's jump right in. We begin this week's News Bites with a COVID-19 update as the virus continues to spread in the South. The West is feeling the heat. Arizona, Texas, and Florida continue to set records, and California is now experiencing flare-ups. Governor Gavin Newsom of California said that he is rolling back reopening plans, closing movie theaters, indoor dining, and wineries. The LA and San Diego school districts, the two biggest in the state, have said they are online for the fall semester. And meanwhile, out east, Florida continues to set records daily with increased hospitalizations and positive results. One NFL team made headlines this week and history after saying they would never change their name. The Washington Redskins have announced they will retire that name and logo. They were feeling the pressure from protests across this country about racial injustice and from their corporate sponsors. Now, the team hasn't announced the new name yet, but they said it will honor military service members and American Indian peoples. And finally, we remember the life of Naya Rivera. Rescue crews found the actress's body in a Southern California lake just days after she and her son were there on a boat and swimming. Authorities believe the boat drifted away while the two were in the water, and Rivera had enough energy to swim back to the boat and make sure her son got on board safely before drowning. Sports, we have missed you so much, and with leagues coming back, NASCAR's back, UFC, MLS, and the PGA Tour, with the NBA, WNBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball coming back soon. Sports, it's been on my mind lately, so I figured let's bring in some experts. I'd like to welcome in Dan and Doug from Enterprise Sports. Guys, thanks so much for joining me today on The Next Big Thing.
Yeah, no problem.
So let's just jump right in. I stalked you on Instagram, full disclosure here, but you made your first post with Enterprise Sports back in December 2019. That was just about 8 months ago. You had 3 likes on that post. Now you have over 11,000 followers, which is a big difference for 8 months. So break it down for us. What is Enterprise Sports and what inspired you to create this page?
We started Enterprise Sports back in December of 2019, right around the time where the Army and Navy game was happening in Philadelphia. And we kind of got into Dan's basement one night, and we were like watching all these Barstool posts and watching all their content and thinking, Barstool Sports, they really don't have competition. So we thought of the thing like, why don't we try to do something similar to Barstool, but in our own way? So we were talking about all the events coming up. We love March Madness. Me and Dan's thing is like going to my basement, and we make up all these brackets for March Madness every year. And we're always going nuts. We're always like scrambling up pieces because we don't like our brackets. So we start throwing them, we throw them at each other. And we never have any of this stuff on film. So we're like, having this thing, we do a lot of sports comedy work, but we never actually had it filmed. So we wanted to get into, sports comedy, sports interviews, similar to what Barstool does, but we never had it actually on air. So we decided to do that, to post a lot of sports comedy videos, and then COVID-19 hit. So we went from there, and when that hit, it kind of botched our plans. We wanted to do a college tour for March Madness. We couldn't get there. Everything we had planned was botched. So we're like, what do we do now? What do we do? Like, it was so hard because we hit a soft spot, and we didn't know where to go from there. So we thought of this idea at Dan's house one day to interview these athletes and just reach out to a bunch of athletes. So me and Dan, like 2-3 dates in a row, were messaging all these pro athletes, college athletes. And at one point we even got blocked on Instagram. They're like, whoa, you guys are messaging too many people. And we had to stop. So, over the next couple of weeks, we started getting messages back from some pro athletes and college athletes. And we started setting up these interviews, which we've never done before. We weren't used to being on air. We weren't used to like interviewing people at all. We're not ESPN guys, so we're not on TV. So at first it was a struggle. At first we were, repeating ourselves, talking over each other, and stuff like that. And after a while, we kind of got used to it, and we started cracking jokes with the interviews, and we felt more comfortable with it. So that's been our niche right now, kind of like just what we've been doing during the coronavirus. And we look forward to doing a college tour in the fall with college football, but hopefully that actually happens this time.
Yeah, no, for sure. We started, like he said, in my basement. We were planning on just doing podcasts, and it's something I always wanted to get into sports media. I kind of just didn't know how I wanted to get into it. And we just started from there, and I was like, why don't we just create our own brand and just see where it goes? And actually, I think COVID-19 was a blessing in disguise, because I don't think we would have built the following if it wasn't for that. All these interviews have grown us so much and gotten us out there in the world of sports and just like entertainment in general, because we don't just interview athletes. So COVID-19, a blessing in disguise. But overall, we are a sports media company. We have launched now. Today we launched our 4th podcast. You can find that on Spotify and Apple. And we're just going to keep growing from here. It's right now, it's only the beginning. So when sports comes around, we're planning on being a powerhouse in the sports media market.
You mentioned COVID-19 there, and I just want to touch on that briefly. A lot of people saw the pandemic as a setback. You said it was a blessing in disguise. So talk a little bit about how, you have this brand new brand that you created just about 3 to 4 months prior. There's no more sports, and you have to adjust and make a new plan on the fly. What was that process like, and what ended up being your plan?
No, my plan was I thought we were in trouble early on. I thought when it came around, I thought we were in bad shape. I'm thinking to myself, we start this media company, and right as we get started, the sports get shut down. So immediately we were nervous. We were just starting to post like old highlights and stuff like that. And then, we realized that a lot of people are available to go on interviews because everybody was home. So it changed a lot. And once we started seeing that it was something that worked and people wanted more of it, we just kept hitting it and, just kept pushing it, and it's worked out really well. So, it's our biggest thing right now. We have more interviews lined up this week, and, now people are reaching out to us to come on to our page. It's awesome. It's humbling.
And, we talk about all these interviews. You're posting highlights. You're posting sports comedy. There's such a variety of sports and entertainment on your page. So what is the future for Enterprise Sports? What are you looking to do when these, sports return as they are right now? And, what are you looking forward to, the next year, 2 years, extended farther than that, beyond?
Yeah, like Dan said, we want to launch the college tour, and we want to do a lot of events outside of just being in our house doing stuff virtually. We want to go to baseball stadiums. We want to engage with fans. We want to engage with college students. We want to get our audience out there. We want to get to the point where our fans and our followers are actually posting us, posting their stuff on our stories, getting us out there more than us just getting ourselves out there. So getting out to these events, engaging with fans, see what they like, and we can post more of that, kind of target our audience to what exactly they like. And that's kind of what we want to do in the future, especially with sports coming back, and hopefully with fans being at the stadiums. That'll be awesome.
Where can we find Enterprise Sports if we're looking to get this content? Where can we go?
Well, you can find us on Instagram at Enterprise Sports. Our website is in the making right now. You can find us on Twitter at Enterprise Pod. We're on Facebook too. If you look up Enterprise Sports with a Z, we're not the car company, everybody, with a Z, have an S. But yeah, Instagram's our biggest account. We're trying to build our Twitter, and like we said, we will have a website. It's in the making. It's coming. It's being made as we speak, and it should be launched in the next few weeks. And it's going to be very, very cool. You'll be able to find our podcasts on there. We're trying to have some of the biggest podcasts. So that's happening now. Doug just launched this podcast actually today, so go check it out. It's called No Debate.
Awesome. Dan, Doug, thank you so much for joining me on The Next Big Thing. We'll be sure to check out all of your amazing content.
Anytime.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much to Enterprise Sports for joining me today, and be sure to keep up with their podcast and social media channels as sports return. We transition now to the trends we love this week, and we start with these guys. Sea lions at the St. Louis Zoo haven't seen too many visitors lately, so zookeepers took matters into their own hands. The sea lions can chase toy cars around instead of visitors. This provides mental and physical stimulation, especially when there are no guests due to COVID-19. And next in our adorable news is this furry friend who will surely put a smile on your face. He stole his owner's dentures, but how can you stay mad at this guy? I say 15 out of 10, that is a good boy. People around the world have been cheering on and celebrating healthcare workers as the COVID-19 pandemic continues. You remember scenes like this in countries and cities across the globe, like London, Spain, Italy, and even New York. People quarantined in their homes, filling the quiet city streets with applause for the doctors, nurses, and medical staff helping us to stay safe. Meet Robert Johnson, a security guard at Kaiser Permanente Downey Medical Center in California. Now, every day, he waits outside for medical workers as they leave from their 12-hour grueling shifts. Now, these healthcare heroes never know what to expect when they walk in the door, but when they walk out, they know that there will be one thing waiting for them.
Good morning.
Joy, happiness, and even an elbow bump there just to encourage these healthcare heroes. Robert says he wants to spread joy and that smiles can change someone's day in an instant. Giving a boost to others, today we celebrate you, Robert, and give you a boost. Thank you so much for spreading the happiness. Deals and steals, they are a must, and you don't want to break the bank while online shopping. So I wanted to give you some tips on what to look at this month and where you can find some of the best deals. First, apparel. A lot of summer lines are on sale right now from designers across different price ranges. I found great deals at Sperry.com as well as designer brands like Burberry. Also on sale, personal electronics. Last weekend I visited Best Buy in search of a small speaker and found some great prices on a variety of different brands that I was looking at. Definitely the lowest that I was seeing. So just remember to keep an eye out for these deals, apparel and personal electronics in the month of July. And of course, happy shopping. As always, we round out our show with our trend for you. Now, we've discussed a lot about health and wellness, but today I'm encouraging you to try something new. During quarantine, a lot of us have felt like we're in a rut, doing the same thing over and over every day of the week, kind of like the movie Groundhog Day. By doing something new, we can re-engage and refocus and ultimately learn something. For me, I became certified to teach Strong, a fitness class by Zumba, combining HIIT workout moves with kickboxing and cardio. So I wanted to just get out of my normal routine of exercise. It wasn't doing it for me anymore. So by learning this new type of fitness, I can ultimately reach my fitness goals and teach something, which is something I'm always passionate about doing. So I encourage you to find that passion, whether it's in fitness or another type of activity. Try something new. I hope you enjoy. And if you're interested in learning more about Strong classes in Connecticut, feel free to drop me a message. Okay, all you cool cats and kittens, that's all the time we have today on The Next Big Thing. If you have something big to share, share it with me. Drop me a comment or a message. Of course, come back next week for more. And remember, when you need the news that pops, I'll be here with The Next Big Thing.